modern day electronics into the old MIDI world, okay? And the old MIDI world is still back in the 1980s, more or less. In other words, they're using what we call a serial, which means all that data is going to go down one line. We've got, in computers now, we've got many lines that go down. It's a parallel, it's a serial, so it's got to be very, very fast. This is what is called a DIN plug. So to some extent now we've got to learn what this is. Out of those 5 pins, this is a 5-pin DIN plug. DIN is the name of a German standardization. So this came from Germany, this type of the standard. And you only use one for plus, for volts, one for minus, which is ground, and one for data. So despite the fact you've got a lot of data down, it's only going down one railroad track. So it's like one long freight train. Okay? But you've got to have this kind of plug. The problem is, you almost can't buy these devices anymore. Now, in your very sophisticated music market, you can. These have the DIN plugs in them, right? I just showed it to you. So, but computers, for example, don't.
No.
So then you have to buy
An adapter.
a translator.
Yeah.
This is just like
I used to
translating
have a set of those cables.
German into English, or whatever. In other words, it's going to go in as a MIDI signal, and it's going to go through here, and it's going to come out as a USB 2.0
for heaven's sake, okay.
protocol. So this little thing changes all that electronics to a totally different protocol. Okay? However, we've got one more complication came in. That's not what the keyboards are coming out with now. The keyboards are coming out with a USB cable that's got an A and a B, right? This is A, then on the other side is like a little block. Okay. Keyboard. See it?
Well, yeah, that's
called-
like on those printer plugs. In the back of printers.
Okay, this is called the USB cable. So you've got the USB standard that most of us know
Yeah,
here.
yeah.
And on the other end, you've got this. So
Yeah.
this is USB cable A, connector A, connector
Okay.
B.
Okay.
So this is USB now.
I just wanna-
And most of you are using that for your printers.
Yeah,
Your printer.
yeah.
Most keyboards now come out with that, okay? So that's another minor complication that you've got to overcome as you move into MIDI music. Okay, let me- See if we can do this. Let me move all this way down. Jack is going to be our guinea pig. So when you turn on most keyboards, MIDI keyboards, they're going to come up in a piano sound. We've gone off the MIDI chart from 1 to 27. They're blocks of 10, more or less, or less. But anyway, the one block will be piano, another block will be brass, another block will be woodwinds, and so on. So, for example, I know the 72 is clarinet. So if I want to play clarinet polka on the keyboard, I push in 72. However, the other thing kicks in is you're going to have a standard. The standard is called GM, General MIDI. So if you look at a keyboard, it's better to buy one with GM on it. This one doesn't have it. I've only got this one. We use it for teaching because it's got a super teaching system in it. Yamaha EZ220. It's got lighting keys and a learning system where you don't need a teacher. So when I give the classes using this, what I am is just a tutor. Okay? We use this here. The book has got all the music built in it here. All you do is put up Psalm 20 and it plays. The problem is, it plays it the way somebody in Japan wanted it to play, which isn't always the way we play it, so. Let's plug it in. Plug this in and see if we make a connection. And this happens to be finale, in fact, okay? Jack uses noteworthy, different musicians in, well, you've got a copy of it. Well, you've got a copy of finale, no, the print, yeah, it comes in different layers. You know, your print, for example, will do something, but not as much as the full-blown one. So this is the full-blown one, and Sabrina is my expert in this. So anyway, the bottom line is you can use it for different ways. I can play through there, for example. You can input from there into the computer. So let's see if we can find it. First thing we have to do, go to MIDI and see if we can set it up. So device setup, MIDI setup. Okay, and it came up there as digital keyboard, and it's not finding the in. Is it turned on?
Yes.
Yeah. Try it again. Okay, let me get rid of this here and we'll load it again. And it's called finale, so now I've got to look for F.
I have a side question. Computers that have,
Wait just a second, let me get it. It takes a while to load, so while you're, go ahead.
computers that have different USB ports, are they all the same, or is there a difference in
Yeah,
USB
right
ports?
now, they're all the same. It's USB 2, okay, 2.0. If you look on the other side of most of the newer computers, they will have USB 3.0. 3.0 is faster than 2.0.
That's just the
The
difference.
2.0, the 3.0, they'll have blue. If you look on the thing here and your cable, it'll be blue. So if it's blue, it's 3, okay? So a lot of times you can't use 2 with 3. As always, they're usually downward compatible, but not upward. 3 is faster, okay? So what they did to start with on 3.0, they made the connector different, okay? So the USB may be the same.
Oh.
But to charge my phone or to connect it, I need a different cable. And it's got 2 little prongs like that, a short one and a long one. Okay. So as you move forward, and now there's USB 3 is out. And I included that in a class a couple weeks ago. USB 3, again, is faster than 2, 3, 4 or 5. I guess it's USB 4. But anyway, it's not a whole lot faster than 3. 3 is a lot faster than 2, okay? But it is faster. But what it's got is more power, more volts. So we're all using all these kind of devices like this, tablets, smartphones, and so on. Many of these need 5 volts down to 3.5. This is where we've talked about in the past before. If you charge this, some phones, depending on your device, at 3.5, it's going to take longer to charge than if you use the 5. Therefore, these, what I call devices that connect it, electricity, will have 2 pins on it. You always asked that before. One pin may be 3.5 and one may be 5. So, in fact, some devices, if they're heavy-duty devices, might not charge in 1 pin. So you do have to read the labels to some extent. And again, if you read the labels, you've got to know something. Okay, let's see if we can find it now. On some devices, when a system is, still not fine. When a system is starting up, sometimes if you plug something in after the fact, it won't work. So sometimes it's better to turn the whole thing off and start over again here. So let me see what we've got working. This is auto detect the input devices, okay? And it's not doing it. It's got an output, it looks like. So I'm gonna say okay on that, and we'll see if we can put something out.
Well, aren't there two plugs on the back of the keyboard?
No. Just this here.
Because mine had two plugs.
Like this, I've never seen a
One
keyboard.
was in and one was out. Of course, this is
That's
older.
That's this one.
Yeah, like that, yeah.
We're not using that.
Oh, disregard all the above.
This is where, but
Yeah.
yeah, usually on most of these, my electric accordion, the MIDI accordion has only got one. So it uses the same one as in and out. But these, most of these will have an in and out too. And the bigger and more complex it is, it'll have an in and out and a through. Sometimes you want to go through it. You want the bass, for example, maybe not to play through there, so you go in and out. But the standard is in and out on a 5-pin DIN.
Okay. I had it hooked up one time.
I hate to run, gentlemen, but
Okay, we'll see you.
In your garage.
Okay, here's the most latest Las Mañanitas. Okay, Sabrina put this in. This is one we're learning here. This is an A. So I go up here and play it. Okay. It's playing here. Can you hear it?
Vaguely.
Okay. But that's not really what I want. I'm gonna stop it. And I don't know why we're not getting a... Turn off the keyboard and turn it back on. Turn it off again. Turn it on. As always, Murphy Law kicks in. Let me try one time. There's an error message came up there and I didn't see what it was. This worked last week at my house. Jack, so it's gotta be you. Now we're not getting an error message. Let's try again. Anyway, you're all seeing for sure how to do a MIDI setup. Okay? Now let's go to show advanced and see what it. This little click here. Okay. Well, there. Auto detect and it came up. So let's see if that'll work. And I click on it. Hope that's the right keyboard protocol, anyway. No. Okay. And the other complicating thing is, these things now have to talk to each other. So evidently what we're doing is we're not talking back and forth yet. And this is where our problem's gonna be here too. We worked on that 2 Sundays in a row with the DIN plug and the Arduino microcomputer, how to get them talking together, because it's gotta get that packet of a minimum of 3 things in the right way, in the right synchronization, timing, and so on, to talk. But anyway, the bottom line is this theoretically should be playing that keyboard now. Okay? And with the protocol, this is one that Sabrina put in, but a few years ago Samantha put in, for example, decolors. And I've got her at the level where these now, Yamaha and Casio, are selling as lighted keys. So when you press a key, you can light it or you can turn it off. So you use that lighted key to muscle memory, get muscle memory out. Okay. So anyway, if you follow a certain MIDI protocol, let me see if I can find it here in a second, you can turn the keys on. So we can now make a program here that will turn the keys on for, in fact, I'll bring that next week. Old Susanna, Cotton Eye Joe, in other words, so you can learn those, again, muscle memory wise, rather than learn it the other tradition. The other thing that you've got here is view. Go to studio view. Here's our studio view. So I've got buttons here. I can do a mute. Okay. I can play one channel or the other. If I have 4 channels down here, I can say, okay, just play the violin part, or just play the trumpet part, mariachi. And I can change the volume of one. We've talked about that before on MIDI. If you want the violin, which is soft, you'd have to play it up, let's say 127, the highest volume. Trumpets, which are loud, you might play down at around 80. And you can do that sometimes with wheels or sliders and so on. So you can go into the studio view and you don't have to learn all that complex computer lingo that we talked about.